I'm back. Welcome back to the Mental Map. Hey everyone, it's Julie. Welcome back. Here we go, starting season 2. It's February. I'm ready to get this thing going. So I truly was not planning on making Mental Map like a seasonal thing. Like season 1, season 2, I was not planning on doing that at all. This kind of happened by accident. So I was fully intending to take December off, I guess, from the podcast and just focus on family, spending the holidays together, and then fully be back in the new year in January and just keep making episodes. And then life got in the way. I hit rock bottom again. Emotionally, I was just really, really going through it in January. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. January felt like the longest. It was an eternity. January would not end. And it just took me for a loop. I really fell into this like deep funk that I haven't felt in a really long time. You know, season 1, I guess we can call it now. Season 1 of the podcast, all of my episodes. I started this podcast back in July. And all I've spoken about is how this past year I've been on my healing journey. Our first healing journey mention of the season 2. I've been on this healing journey for the past year, getting to know myself and getting to grow and learn from my past relationships and all. And otherwise, it's been a good year. And then to have 2025 kind of start out with this funk and feeling so helpless all over again. I felt so disappointed in myself that, you preached to the choir and you did all this work and, you grew and grew and grew, but you're back to this. Like, you didn't really grow. You didn't really do the work. You didn't really do anything. And I was just talking so badly about myself to myself. January was a really, really tough month. And because of that, I didn't feel like I could make a new episode. All the advice or things that I have learned the past year and the things that helped me throughout the past year, I wasn't taking my own words of wisdom and I wasn't following them all of January. And it didn't feel right for me to come on the podcast and kind of pretend that I was okay and pretend that everything was fine and that I was doing all of this great work when I wasn't. So that was the unplanned part of this hiatus. I was going to take off of December and come back January 1st and just dive right into new episodes, but life didn't work out that way. And the end of January, I started coming back into myself and like remembering who I am and what I've learned, and that yes, I might have hit rock bottom again, and yes, I was in a funk again, but I definitely, when I took a step back and was able to come out of the funk a little bit, I realized that I managed it way, way different than I did when I was in my rock bottom, my funk moment last year. And that's something to be proud of. And I want anybody listening to understand that healing isn't linear. And I know that's it's said all the time, like those memes or like posts on Instagram, on whatever, that have like the hills or the mountains, and it's like healing may look like this sometimes, but sometimes it looks like this, up and down and up and down. And I know it's kind of like oversaid, but it's the God's honest truth. Healing is not linear, and you will have moments that are way more down than up at times. And that's just life. That's just how it goes. The end of January, I started being able to pick myself up and kind of look myself in the mirror and say, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to get yourself out of this? Because the only person that's going to be able to get you out of this is you. There is no one coming to save you. There is no one coming to pull you out. You need to start working out, girl, and push yourself out of this hole that you're put yourself in. I started thinking about how I wanted to come back to the mental map and what I was going to talk about now that I was feeling more like myself again and kind of got my head above water after my whole January funk. And I thought about seasons. I thought about, I am finally in a place, and I'll get more on it later, but I'm finally in a place where I truly, truly am just chilling. Like, I'm just thinking about myself and what I need to love myself and what I need to move forward and date again and love myself more than anyone in this world could ever love me. So that way, when new people come into my life, relationship, friendships, whatever it may be, I can give to them what I already give to myself. And I won't expect from them what I don't expect from myself, if that makes sense. So I had the idea about seasons because in feeling this way and in feeling like I'm finally like for me and not, I'm finally clicking the move on button in a different way than I did last year. And I thought, the episodes that I have up right now on the mental map, they're a lot about my last relationship, my previous relationships, and how I've learned from them, the things that I've learned from them, and how those relationships helped shape who I am today and how they helped me grow, like the lessons I learned in those relationships. So I started thinking to myself, well, if we're breaking it up in seasons and I start season 2, then season 1, the theme of season 1 was kind of relationships and growing from relationships and learning from relationships. So what is the topic going to be for season 2? So season 2 is all about self-care. It's all about me. No, season 2 is going to be about this journey that I'm now starting. Thank God. I'm so excited to be starting this part of my journey, this part of my healing journey, the part 2. I learned what I needed to learn from my relationships. I've learned what I needed to learn about myself from those relationships. And now I get to take all of that groundwork that I've done and move forward into phase 2, which is dating myself and taking care of myself in a way that is so separate from what I was taking care of before. What do I mean by this? The past year, I was taking care of a broken heart. I was taking care of the version of me that I knew because of that person that I was with. And I think I did a pretty damn good job. I went through that phase in the perfect amount of time that I needed. And it took me a year, and it may take you 3 years, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 weeks. Everybody's on their own timeline, and there's no, I don't want anybody listening to this podcast to think that, oh, well, Julie took a year to heal from a broken heart, and then only after that year, she started healing the other part of her, the child part of her, the parts of her that, she needs to take accountability for outside of her relationships. It's different for everyone. It's different for everyone. Just want to make that a disclaimer. So I'm really excited to start this season. I think this is going to be my most favorite. I don't know. I don't know what the other seasons are going to look like. And I think that's the beauty of this podcast and why I really enjoy doing it is because I'm able to speak every week or every other week whenever I record. I'm able to speak on real-time emotions that I'm having. And I think that's a major part of why I didn't want to record last month in January episodes that, yes, what I would have been saying or the advice that I give would have been true and honest. But if I'm not following it in that moment, then it's not really that honest. And I don't want to do that on here. I don't want to say things that I'm not going to do also. Period. So this past month, like I said, I've been in such a funk, such rock bottom. I was feeling like it's a new year and I still feel stuck. I feel like I'm in the same spot as I was the year before. I have the same job. I have the same relationship status. I'm still living in my parents' house. I'm stuck in the same exact spot as I was this time last year. And I just held on to that so tightly and kind of forgot about all the things I learned about being grateful and about gratitude in general, like being grateful for the things that you have, the things that are in front of you. I forgot about presence and mindfulness and being in the moment and recognizing what's right in front of me and just going with that, not what I don't have and what's to come, And I was stuck, I was so disgusting to myself, and I just said the worst things to myself. I didn't deserve these things. I don't deserve a loving relationship. I don't deserve to get a new job. I don't deserve to move on and move out, and I'm not worthy of these things. I don't deserve them. That was my mindset of January. And on top of that, I was kicking myself even more because I was so disappointed that I had this whole year that I learned so much and I grew so much and I healed so much of myself. And here I am feeling the same exact way. I felt so defeated and so disappointed. Disappointed is the word. Disappointed. I was so disappointed in myself that I could let myself get like this again and feel these terrible feelings towards myself. So that was my January. And I honestly, you may be asking, well, what got you out of it? Like, what made you flip the switch and say, okay, I'm ready to get back into doing the work, I had a conversation with my mom, and in the moment when I was having the conversation with her, I hated her for everything that she was saying, because in the moment I just wanted to be comforted and I wanted to be, oh, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. But my mom let me have it in the best way. And basically I was complaining, or really coming to her upset, because I felt lonely. I felt like all my friends were moving forward and I wasn't, in any capacity, in relationships and jobs and in life. They just had their things that they were doing. And while I am so proud of them and so happy for them, and I want to hear about these things that they're doing, and I felt behind. I felt left behind. I felt abandoned. And I was expressing these feelings to my mom, and she was like, well, what does that have to do with you? Why do you need your friends to hang out with you and be with you and compliment you and validate you? Why do you need that? Why do you need that to feel good? That should be a bonus, essentially. These are not word for word what she said, but essentially this is what she was saying. And in the moment, I was so mad at her because I didn't agree with her in the moment. I was like, yeah, okay, that's not what I'm feeling. I just feel lonely. Like, it's not about validation. It's not about wanting love and affection and attention from my friends. It's not about that. I'm just lonely. So that was that conversation. And then the next couple of days, I obviously thought about it. And she's 100% right. Why? I was getting so lost in what it looked like. It looked like my friends were abandoning me. It looked like nobody wanted to hang out with me. It looked like XYZ, but that wasn't the real problem. That wasn't the root of why I was actually upset. I was upset and I was so down and in a funk because I was looking for love and validation and affection from the people around me instead of cultivating it within myself. Again, this is not new news. I've spoken about this on the podcast plenty of times. You can't love others until you love yourself, and you won't be happy with anyone, friendship, relationship, whatever it is, unless you're happy with yourself. That's a given. And I forgot that last month. I totally forgot that last month. And so after that conversation with my mom, I realized, okay, what do I need to work on? 4 things that I realized I needed to work on: people pleasing, getting validation from others, being enough for myself, and giving validation to myself, and that being enough. And then a little bonus one, I needed to get into some hobbies. I needed to start doing for myself what I always preach to the choir to everybody else. I wasn't doing that last month. I don't think I really ever have. I think I have all these great ideas in my head and I'm able to articulate them. But as far as putting them to action and actually doing them, it's hard for me. And then I had to go down deeper and figure out, why is that hard for me? Why is it hard for me to actually put into action the great ideas I have in my head? And when I dug deep, I realized that it's because, yes, this past year I have grown more confident and more sure of myself, but that was because of the things I learned from my relationship. From my last relationship and my relationship before that, I grew from Julie in a relationship. And that's beautiful. That's fantastic. That was definitely a step that needed to happen. But there's still more work to be done. And that's what I'm trying to do today. The work that needs to be done next is, okay, you know who Julie is out of a relationship. Now what? What's Julie going to do now that she's just Julie? She's been just Julie for over a year now. She's not Julie and so-and-so. She's just Julie. Oh, wait a minute. Even when you were Julie and so-and-so, you were just Julie. Who is she? Who is Julie? That's what I'm trying to find out now. I know who Julie is out of a relationship, but now, just in general, Julie in the world. Who is Julie in the world? What does Julie like? What does Julie like when she's not in love? When she's not angry? When she's not, what, just in general, what is she? Who is she? How is she going to come out and be herself? Period. That's what this year is all about. This year is all about self-care. This year is all about vibing, dancing to the beat of your own drum, and whatever happens, happens. This is not me, claiming to be single for the whole year. I don't want to claim anything. I don't want to expect anything. The only thing, actually, I do want to claim one thing, myself. That's the only thing I want to claim this year is myself. So once I figured out that those were the things I needed to work on, boom, I'm not going to learn how to fix them or manage them in one day. But at least now I know that people pleasing, not needing validation from others, being enough for myself, feeling worthy, giving myself what I deserve, those are the things I need to work on. And now the next thing I needed to focus on was, okay, what can I learn from this rock bottom that I can take for the next time I hit rock bottom? Because I will. I will. If this past year taught me anything, or this last rock bottom that I felt last month taught me anything, it's that you can have a great year. You can have a great, span of time, like a good era of not getting into a funk and hitting rock bottom. But it will happen again, because that's just the way the cookie crumbles, babe. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So instead of the next time I hit rock bottom, instead of getting so disappointed in myself and so angry at myself, how could I let this happen? I've learned so much. I know not to get like this. No, babe. No. You will get like this. How can you manage it better the next time? That's the next thing. Every rock bottom is different. Every rock bottom is different as long as you learn from the last time and you choose to grow from the last time. Take all the things that happened while you were in rock bottom and say, all right, this is what happened. How can I make sure that I don't fall that deep again. Getting to the root of your feelings, getting to the root problem is majorly important. And the only way you can do that is sitting with yourself and mapping it out. No pun intended. Mapping it out, figuring it out. You know, it's perfect example is with my mom when she was telling me, oh, well, why do you need validation from your friends? Why do you want to hang out with them so badly? And getting so upset when they can't hang out. It's not that they're ignoring you or choosing not to hang out with you. They're doing something else. Why are you letting it get you so down? They're not banishing you. They're not abandoning you. And they're not breaking off the friendship. Do your own thing. I couldn't do my own thing last month because I was so shitty to myself. So shitty. We're not going to do that again. And if we do that again, because it's possible, we will know how to handle it next time. I feel super, super excited and I feel it in my soul that this is going to be a really good season. I don't know what's to come. I'm just starting this journey just the same way that hopefully a lot of you are too, so we can go through it together. But I'm really excited for season 2, all about self-care, and who knows what's to come. My hopes for season 2, I hope to reach someone, even if it's just one person, reach someone who may be going through the same thing or needs to hear these things that I have to say about loving yourself and moving forward for yourself. I'm finally in a place where I'm not focusing on someone else and how they can help me move forward. I'm not holding on to a relationship making me feel better about myself or expecting, oh, when I find that guy, when I find the one, everything will fall into place and my healing journey will be complete. One, your healing journey is constant. We are always healing from something because we're human. And that's just how it works. 1. 2, no man, no woman, nobody, no human being on this planet will heal me the way that I need to heal me. I do believe that when you're in the right relationship, in a healthy relationship, that person does heal a part of you that you cannot heal. Only love, genuine love from someone else can heal that little part of you. But to heal overall and to grow and move forward, the only person that can do that for you is you. And that's the part of the journey that I'm on. Not expecting somebody else to do it for me, or that once I find that person, I'll be complete, or I'll be healed, or I'll see the light and everything will just fall into place. No, girl. Have that happen on your own. So that way when he does come into your life, it's even more like, wow, like I am just over the moon. I got myself, I got my boo, I got my this, I got my that. Like, that's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. So I want to start this new thing for season 2. I want to do a song of the day. And the song is going to have meaning to me, and I will explain the meaning to you, and it'll tie in for the episode. So today's song of the day is Happy For You by Dua Lipa. I have been on a Dua Lipa kick. I love her. She's everything and more. And Happy For You is really a song talking to an ex, saying like, I'm happy for you, you know, like you've moved on and I've moved on, and thank God for the lessons we learned together that we can, you know, I'm happy for you. But I feel like it can be so much more than that. You know, it's a song that you can resonate, you're happy for old friends, you're happy for yourself, happy that you're leaving the old behind, that you've learned the lessons you needed to learn from your past, that you're moving forward happier and better off because of the past. There's a line in the song and it says, I must have loved you more than I ever knew. Basically saying, because I'm happy for you that you moved on. She's talking to an ex that is with someone new. And that line, I must have loved you more than I ever knew. That song in general, for many different reasons, just hits home. But honestly, it doesn't hit home because of what it actually means. It hits home because it's like when I listen to it, I think of myself to myself. I'm talking to myself when I'm singing it. I'm happy for you. I must have loved you more than I ever knew because I'm happy. I never knew that I could be happy on my own. And for me, moving on is moving on with myself, not moving on with someone else. And I'm proud of that because I never, past me years ago would have been like, no, but I need someone. I need to find a connection. That's the only way that I'll feel whole. And now, fast forward to today, of all that I've been through, I'm happy on my own. I've proved to myself that I can be happy on my own. And look at all the beautiful things I've done moving forward from my past. And I've done it all on my own with great friends and family. So, Happy For You by Dua Lipa. Go listen to it. Let me know your thoughts on it. That's our song of the day. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so excited for season 2. If you have any topics on self-care that you want to hear me touch on or talk about, let me know. Follow me on Instagram, Mental Map Pod. It's going to be a good season. Good season, babe. Woo! Bye-bye for now.